The secret services deciphered the letter of Satan written in 1676 in Sicily by a nun possessed by the devil. The so-called letter of the devil, shrouded in dark satanic notoriety and dating back to 1676, has been deciphered with the help of special services. It describes God, Jesus, and the Holy Spirit as dead weights. Researchers state, saying they have finally solved the mystery of the letter us, or at least most of it, which had resisted interpretation for centuries. The message consists of 14 lines of archaic letters in an unknown language, seemingly jumbled. Numerologists note that in some cultures, including the Christian one, the number 14 is considered the true hidden number of the devil. 1/4 that is, the pentagram, the symbol of Satan. Sister Maria. The letter was written by Sister Maria Crocifissa della Concezione when she was a 31-year-old nun living at the Benedictine convent of Palma di Montechiaro in Sicily. On August 11, 1676, the sister was found on the floor of her cell, her face covered with ink and scratched. In her hand she was holding a note written in an incomprehensible combination of symbols and letters. According to historical records and the chronicles of other nuns from the convent, Maria told her fellow sisters that the letter had been written by the devil, who had possessed her and guided her hand despite her resistance. He made numerous attempts to force her to renounce God and turn to the prince of darkness and evil, the accounts say. The message of Satan consists of 14 lines of strange letters, some resembling signs from the Glagolitic alphabet of Cyril and Methodius, though clearly including characters from other scripts as well, such as Coptic. For centuries it resisted every attempt to understand its meaning, until the advent of artificial intelligence. Today, a large part of the message has been deciphered thanks to scientists working in cooperation with Italian special services. When working on historical decryption, you cannot ignore the psychological profile of the person who wrote it. We needed to know as much as possible about this nun. Researcher Danielle Abate, director of the Ludum Science Museum in Sicily, told Live Science. Sister Maria Crocifissa della Concezione, born Isabella Tomasia, forebear of the renowned Italian writer Giuseppe Tomasi di Lampedusa, entered the Benedictine convent at the age of 15, historical records say. The letter looked as though it had been written in some unknown shorthand. We assume that Sister Maria, possessed or not, had created her own new lexicon using ancient alphabets she might have known. Abate explains, that is when AI and the special services, who had developed it to crack mafia codes and later made it available to researchers, came to the rescue. To be certain, scientists first tested the software using standard abbreviated symbols from various languages. They found that the nun's letter contains a mixture of words and sometimes only syllables from ancient alphabets such as Greek, Latin, runic signs, Arabic, and others. We analyzed how syllables and graphically depicted symbols repeat throughout the letter. This allowed us first to identify several vowels. Eventually, we arrived at a sophisticated decryption algorithm. Abate explains, He says his team had not expected major results. We thought we might decipher just a few meaningful words. The nun clearly had a very good command of various Indo-European and Semitic alphabets, but in the end, we obtained a more complete decoding of the message than we had anticipated. The devilish letter, besides calling the Holy Trinity dead weights, continues with phrases such as, "God thinks he can free mortals. The system works for no one. Perhaps now. Styx is certain." In ancient Greek and Roman mythology, Styx is the river separating the underworld from the world of the living, implying that once crossed, people never return. Schizo Abet believes that Sister Maria suffered from schizophrenia or another form of bipolar disorder. The image of the devil often appears in such disorders. We learned from historical records that every night she screamed and struggled against the devil. The Italian scholar adds, "For the church of the time, the letter was proof of the real outcome of her struggle against countless evil spirits, as described in an account written by the Abbess Maria Seraphica." According to Abbess Seraphica's account of Sister Maria, Crocifissa della Conceziane's behavior, recorded shortly after the incident, the devil forced the sister to write the letter. She heroically resisted the evil one's demand, which is evident in the words she wrote. "Ohime? So, oh, woe is me." This is the only intelligible word in the entire letter. The rest remained undeciphered until today. So far, the study has not been published in a peer-reviewed scientific journal, nor have more of the deciphered words been officially released. It is believed that Sister Maria was forced to write these blasphemous lines. Afterwards, however, she repented deeply and for years imposed additional punishments upon herself to atone for the sin of having become an instrument of the devil. In the end, she received the Church's blessing, and thus God's. In Hollywood and on Western television, however, the fame of the letter of Satan has been exploited for decades. The horror film, The Nun 2, is still showing in local cinemas. Like its predecessor of the same title, the story draws on the legend of the Prince of Darkness and Evil who possessed a nun and made her write vile blasphemies. Believers, however, say it would be better if this satanic message were never deciphered. Some cite examples claiming that by decoding it, humanity has been cursed and will require redemption.